Kevin Durant opens up on various controversial topics. Kobe offers support to his former nemesis. The Wizards plan for Bradley Beal, and more in store for today's episode. So with that being said, yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, back bringing you some more NBA news and updates. Hope you are all having a fantastic day, but without further ado, let's just get into everything that we gotta talk about today. Lego. In the world of professional sports, a pretty common phrase that pops up is from rags to riches, as many players are often able to go from a situation in which they were living in poverty to a situation where not only themselves but their families are also put into a much more stable financial position, fighting through early adversities in life to becoming the shining beacon of hope for many people around the world. However, if there's one thing that we know for sure, is that the opposite can also be true. A prime example of this being former teammate of LeBron James on the Cleveland Cavaliers, Delonte West. After spending 10 seasons in the NBA on teams such as the Boston Celtics, Seattle Supersonics, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Dallas Mavericks, West has now been spotted living on the streets of Dallas, with both pictures and videos recently surfacing of him on the internet, with one fan even calling for the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki, Mark Cuban, Jason Terry, and the NBA in general to step up and help the former player. And to anyone who may be doubting the validity of this report, well, this isn't the first time that we've gotten reports like this out regarding Delonte West, as it was reported back in 2011 that the NBA player who earned an estimated $16 million over his playing career had applied for a job at Home Depot, saying, "It's official. Pride to the side, just filled out an application at Home Depot. Lockout ain't a game." Now, while we've heard stories before of players going broke during their post-NBA lives, I believe this is the first report that we have received regarding a former NBA player now being homeless and on the streets. And this really does go to show that just as quickly as you can gain money, you can also lose it. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most successful former NBA players business-wise off the court, recently said it best himself, that it's not about how much money you're making, it's about whether you're smart enough to keep what you've earned. For our next story of the day, former NBA player Lamar Odom has just come forth with some pretty nasty allegations against the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, as Odom, who has an autobiography coming out soon, said in his book that Mark Cuban physically assaulted him for underperforming with the Mavericks. Cuban extended his right foot and kicked my shin. "Come on, mother," he shouted. "I was stunned. This wasn't a tap. I felt it. That was the last straw. It was painfully clear that he did not respect me as a man. I felt the adrenaline rush through my body. In an instant, I was transported back to Linden Boulevard, where the slightest act of disrespect could be fatal. As I sprang up, Vince Carter, who was sitting next to me, grabbed my arm and tightly leaned in. LO, chill out. Don't do it. It's not worth it." So from the sound of things, this very well could have been another Latrell Sprewell incident had Vince Carter not stepped in. And what Odom said is given some credence, because this also wasn't the first time that we've gotten reports of Mark Cuban and Lamar Odom not getting along, as Cuban once confirmed his frustration with Odom as a player with ESPN, saying, "Well, yeah, just his response to it. Everybody goes through ups and downs. Every player does. We tried to put him in a position to succeed. You guys saw it, saw what we did. It didn't work. And I just asked him, does he want to go for it or not? Is he in or is he out? I think he thought we were playing poker. I just didn't get a commitment, and that was the end." And another confirmed incident between Odom and Cuban happened back when the Dallas Mavericks were playing against the New York Knicks, when Cuban was shouting at Odom from the owner's seat after Odom failed to hustle back on the defensive end and allowed Landry Fields an uncontested layup. So with all of this being said, there is no doubt that Lamar Odom and Mark Cuban do have a pretty volatile history. Now though, it'll be interesting to see how or if Mark Cuban responds to Lamar Odom's newest allegation. For our next story of the day, Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard. Even though they never accomplished anything in the league together, those two names will always be intertwined in the NBA history books as one of the biggest what-if scenarios of all time. What if it actually worked out like it was supposed to? However, even though it didn't work out for the combination of Kobe and Dwight in LA, Kobe Bryant seems pretty positive that Howard's second stint with the Lakers will be much more successful than his first, as he was just quoted saying this when it comes to whether or not Howard is ready to help out the Lakers. I think he's ready. He's ready for it this time around to do whatever is necessary to help the team be successful, and I think he'll do it. And Kobe Bryant didn't necessarily stop there. Not one for shying away when it comes to giving words of wisdom to players still in the league. Kobe Bryant had some choice words of wisdom for Dwight Howard as well. This is what he had to say. The words of wisdom are always to get better. I think a lot of the time as professionals, you start the season without the intention of getting better as the season progresses. You always continue to work on your weaknesses as the season progresses. So that would be my advice. AKA, Kobe Bryant is saying that getting better as a player and growing shouldn't be limited to the off season, that players should continue to strive to get better and improve their game as the season goes on. And for Howard, there is no question that this is going to be a very defining season for him coming up. He hasn't had this high of expectations placed upon a team that he was on arguably since the last time that he was with the Lakers. So him being as good as he possibly can in whatever role the Lakers ask him to play will be crucial, not only in determining how far the Lakers go this year, but also when it comes to determining Dwight Howard's future in the NBA. Also in the news, one player that fans anticipate getting traded at some point in the foreseeable future is Bradley Beal. Rumors surrounding him potentially being traded to a team like the Miami Heat gained some momentum earlier in the summer, but have died down substantially since then. However, after Beal decided not to sign a 3-year, $111 million contract extension with the Wizards this summer, it gave some fans the impression that it may not be too much longer until the guard request out of the nation's capital. But unfortunately for those fans, that might not be the case either, as general manager of the Washington Wizards, Tommy Shepard, just said that the team has no plans whatsoever of trading away their still just 25-year-old star shooting guard. The way that I look at this is pretty simple. If you were looking to build a team, Brad would be the type of player that anyone would want to start with. You look at the character, the talent, the age, just the whole package. Brad is without a doubt a core player in this league. Every team would love to have him, and we do. So we've never considered anything other than a situation where Brad is with us, leading us forward. We made that clear to him the first day we could offer him an extension, and we'll continue to make that clear. So obviously the team has no desire to trade Bradley Beal at this moment. But not only that, there's also a big incentive for Bradley Beal to stay with the Washington Wizards as well and not request a trade at this point in time. Since should Bradley Beal make an All-NBA team this year, then he'll be eligible to sign a 5-year, $250 million Supermax contract extension with the Washington Wizards this upcoming summer, which will be far more money than any other team in the NBA would be able to offer. So for any hopeful fans hoping that their team will make a massive trade for Bradley Beal anytime in the foreseeable future, well, you might want to lower your expectations just a little bit. And now for what will be our final story of the day. Kevin Durant has been one of the most polarizing players in the NBA ever since he decided to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder to sign with the then 73-win Golden State Warriors back during the summer of 2016. Now though, that he is no longer a part of the Warriors organization, Durant opened up in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, further elaborating on his decision to leave the Golden State Warriors, but also talking about why a return to the Oklahoma City Thunder was out of the question for him. And first off, here's what Durant had to say in regards to why he decided to leave the Warriors this summer. I'll never be one of those guys. I came in wanting to be a part of a group, wanting to be a part of a family, and definitely felt accepted. But I'll never be one of those guys. I didn't get drafted there. Steph Curry, obviously drafted there. Andre Iguodala won the finals, first championship. Klay Thompson, drafted there. Draymond Green, drafted there. And the rest of those guys kind of rehabilitated their careers there. So me, how are you going to rehabilitate me? What are you going to teach me? How can you alter anything in my basketball life? I got an MVP already. I got scoring titles. As time went on, I started to realize I'm just different from the rest of the guys. And it's not a bad thing, just my circumstances and how I came up in the league. And on top of that, the media always looked at it like KD and the Warriors. so it was like nobody could get full acceptance of me there. And not only did Durant say that he left the Warriors because he felt like an outsider with the group, but he also said that he felt that the Warriors as a team may have reached their ceiling. The motion offense we run in Golden State, it only works to a certain point. We can totally rely on our system for maybe the first 2 rounds. Then the next 2 rounds, we're going to have to mix in individual play. We've got to throw teams off because they're smarter in that round of the playoffs. So now I have to dive into my bag deep to create stuff on my own, off the dribble, isos, pick and rolls, more so than let the offense create my points for me. So that's what Durant had to say in regards to why he left the Warriors. The more controversial part of this article, however, came when Durant started to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. As in this interview, he let it be known that when he originally left OKC, that he was planning to return. However, after seeing how the fans and the organization treated him after leaving, the idea of returning was no longer valid. Such a venomous, toxic feeling when I walked into that arena. And just the organization, the trainers, and the equipment managers. Those dudes is pissed off at me and ain't talking to me. I'm like, yo, this is where we're going with this because I left a team and went to play with another team. I'll never be attached to that city again because of that. I eventually wanted to come back to that city and be part of that community and organization, but I don't trust nobody there. The stuff must have been fake, what they were doing, the organization, the GM. I ain't talked to none of those people, even had a nice exchange with those people since I left. And of course, after this article came out, plenty of fans found themselves getting into debates with Kevin Durant on social media regarding his decision, as it's not hard to imagine how Oklahoma fans in particular would feel slighted by the remarks that Durant made, since they would have loved nothing more than for Durant to have rejoined the Thunder this summer. That being said though, you can also see how it would be nearly impossible for Durant to return to the Thunder after everything that went down. Now though, I want you guys to let me know what you think of this down in the comment section below. Do you agree with what Kevin Durant said? Or is this something that Durant should have just never went public with? Should he have kept these comments to himself? Let me know how you guys feel about Durant's remarks down in the comment section below. That though is going to cover everything that we have to talk about today. As always, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like on it, as well as make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with post notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA. That being said though, until next time, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!